To long and short stitch, which is very similar to the satin stitch. You're going to need two colors. I have green and orange here, 6 threads each. So we're going to start out with one color, come up from the back, and we're going to alternate between long and short. So we're going to make one long, one short, one long, one short, so it makes a little bit of a zigzag. So I'm going to start out with the long. And then, just like the satin stitch, you're going to come up right next to that first stitch you made. But this time we're going to make it a little bit shorter, so about half the length. And then come up right next to it again. And make a long stitch, the same length as your first one. And come up next to it, and short stitch. And long stitch. Okay, and you're going to repeat that into a line, and I'm going to switch threads here, switch needles. And so the cool thing about this is that you get a little bit of a blending effect. You get to use two colors and it just makes it a nice uneven edge. So now we're going to come up here. Actually, I'm going to start with a short stitch here. So come up about the length of your short stitches down here. You're going to come up and meet right up with this long stitch. So you're going to go back in that same hole. And come up right next to it, just like before. And this time you're going to come down and meet that short stitch. So you're going to make a long stitch, meeting up with your previous short stitch. And then right next to it again, make a short stitch, meet up with that long stitch. Right up next to it again, and make a long stitch. So you're just going to fill in all of that space that you left from your first long and short. Okay? So fill it in and finish up your line. Alright, so that's about what it should look like. The French knot. So I have my thread. You can use whatever amount of thread you want. I have 6 here. 3 I think looks better, but for the sake of the video I'll use 6. So come up from behind as usual. And now, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. You're going to grab just a little bit of your fabric, kind of like when you tie off your knots. Just a little bit of fabric. Leave it on your needle. I usually hold the end of my needle down with my thumb and forefinger on the back. And then wrap your your thread around about 4 times. I'll do 3 for the sake of this. Okay, so you have your thread wrapped around, not too tight. Make sure you don't wrap it very tight. You can leave it a little bit loose. Put your thumb over just to hold it in place. So I'll have my thumb over this, and then pull your needle through. So you're going through the fabric and 3 little loops of your yarn, and you kind of have to work it through, but then pull it tight. And I'll sometimes push this down a little bit just to get it right on the fabric. So you have a little knot there. And then you'll go back down that same hole you came up. So this one takes a little bit of practice. And then you have your French knot. So we'll do that again. Okay, so come up grab a little bit of fabric on your needle, just a couple threads should be fine, and wrap your thread around about 3 or 4 times loosely. Put your thumb over to hold it in place, and then pull your needle through all of those. And sometimes it'll look a little bit of a mess like this, which is fine. Just make sure that you pull it down towards your fabric. So you have a knot there, and then go back in the same hole you came up, and you have your knot. Okay, so I'm going to keep doing this about 12 times. And then you are finished. So one last time, wrap around 3 times, 3 or 4, loosely, put your thumb over top, and work your needle through, and you'll have your knot. Alright, and you are all done.